Hello, and you're very welcome to the fourth official episode of Criffany Riffs. I'm Chris.
I'm Tiffany.
And, we're sitting here in the apartment just drinking the tea. We're after coming back from Rogue One, which was fucking amazing.
Yeah, it was actually, I think, one of the better Star Wars films. Not in the sense of that Star Wars isn't an excellent sort of epic combination of things, but in the sense that it was a movie that I felt like, as a standalone movie, it was a really good movie.
Yeah, if you're just starting off in the franchise, it's a great place to start. Oh, fuck.
But then you'll kind of devolve sometimes into uber silliness.
Yes, hijinks and shenanigans ensues.
Yeah, I feel like this one was devoid of silliness. This was the bleak. This was the bleak midwinter, man. But it was really good.
Yeah, I said something a while ago. I hate to toot my own horn, but like good stuff rarely comes out of my mouth, like words of wisdom. I like the concept or the idea of Star Wars, you know, like this religion of like fucking space knights, you know, taking down the bad guys who are trying to like take over the galaxy.
Evil space knights.
Evil space knights. The concept of the idea of it is fucking brilliant. But when you start looking at the shit, it's like, ooh.
Well, and like especially in episode 7, I feel like I only seen it once, but I feel like the episode 7 had a lot more silliness and had a lot more just that super CGI and the things that everyone kind of hated about the re-release of the original trilogy. You know, with like the extra CGI nonsense.
Nothing but CGI. Episode 1 is just like from tip to toe full of silliness. Episode 2 and 3 have elements of that bullshitty too.
No, I would say episode 3 really brings it in. Is that not the one with not only a metal bikini because, quote, there are no underwear in space because it doesn't change size, but your body changes size. So this is something that Carrie Fisher was recently quoted as saying, and that's why she wanted in her obit to say that she was drowned in moonlight, strangled by her own bra, because she was upset about the idea of the metal bustier.
In episode 3?
Wasn't that The Return of the Jedi? She's at the beginning.
No,
she's
that's episode 6.
Oh, sorry, episode 6.
We're going to have to start this podcast. Though. You just ruined it.
Oh, you know what I meant.
No, I didn't. I was thinking of episode 3. It's like Carrie Fisher's in the film at all.
No, you know what I meant. The third original. God,
see,
that's
how you know somebody isn't a true Star Wars fans.
No,
fans.
We're going to have to restart.
No, okay, let's just leave it there.
Because don't call
Rogue One.
No.
Check it out. Don't call you on your bullshit. Yes, I will. No. That's what marriages do. Okay, that's how we get through the fucking marriage. Call each other on the bullshit.
I'm sorry. I meant the Return of the Jedi because it's full of like angry little teddy bears and fucking metal bikinis.
Silly.
And that's a lot of silliness because I believe those same teddy bears were featured in Willow. You know, obviously not like the same teddy bears.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they were the same stuffed bears, I believe.
Moving swiftly on. So Rogue One, check it out. It's very fucking good. I was crying.
Yeah, there's a few tearjerker moments. So anyway, go see it. What we're also going to talk about during this episode is the sort of like I feel like the sentiment that's been in everyone's hearts this year, and that's fuck 2016. So let's talk about 2016. That's what we're working on here today. Is we've been kind of thinking about 2016 as a whole, and on a sort of a world stage, and also on our own sort of on the stage of our own personal lives.
So when we were preparing for this episode,
and by preparing we just mean chatting for a few minutes.
Yeah, like what are we doing? 2016, a year in review. Cool. Press record.
Oh, we made a tiny list. Do you want to hear our tiny list? I'll tell you our tiny list.
Yeah, so I can get a jump off point here.
So there's bullet points here. One of them is what happened this year. And then the next bullet point, which is the answer, is war, racism, misogyny, fascism, World War III. That's where that's going. And then, what about our respective 2016s? New bullet point.
Nice.
And the last bullet point, the internet may only be exacerbating the problem.
You want to hear a problem? You want to hear what I think a problem is, not the problem. People are defining this as a shitty year by people that they don't know passing away.
Oh, no, but these people have a massive influence on their lives. I mean, some of this music and some of I would say that the art that people have produced is, and the fact that these people are the producers of said art and now they're gone, they won't be producing any more art, I think that makes the impact feel more personal. I mean, David Bowie, right? I mean, I can definitely remember who introduced me to David Bowie, where we were. I was driving in a car up to Fort Collins from Loveland, It was kind of a fallish day. The grass was yellow in the fields. And I remember looking at my friend Rami and saying, "Who's this?" I was maybe 20. And that was really my first introduction to David Bowie, aside from the fact that I was not allowed to watch Labyrinth at my confirmation sleepover when I was 13 because...
You were confirmed?
Oh, yeah, Methodist. And
currently?
No, not practicing.
But
atheist.
Yeah. So practicing atheist.
I would say, I dabble. But
Can one be a practicing atheist?
I'm not quite sure.
You have to do nothing. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
But what I would say is that I remember...
She gave me the shut the fuck up face there.
It was remember we talked about this face. But I would say that that moment of hearing Space Oddity in the car, having him put in, David Bowie and us listening to it on about a half an hour drive.
I'm there right now.
It was just...
I'm there.
It was so beautiful, and I remember that day. So now take that and look at all the different people like Alan Rickman. I mean, Alan Rickman, we all know as, Hans Gruber, as Severus Snape, as the horrible guy in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
The Sheriff of Nottingham.
Thank you. Yes, that one.
The horrible guy. Horrible guy number 4.
The one who said that he would carve his heart out with a spoon. Why a spoon? Why not an axe? Because it's dull, you idiot. It would hurt more. That kind of a thing. Remember that?
Nice. So thanks for cutting my initial thing off.
People, sorry.
They don't know.
But they feel like they know them.
I know, but I that's where I was kind of going with it. But then you're all like, shut the fuck up. It doesn't matter if they know or not. The art still lives. And I was like, yeah, I was just about to get to that part. I know it probably didn't sound like it was...
My apologies. It just sounded like you were being like, God, you fucking whiny babies.
Yeah, now all the people are probably going, yeah, shut the fuck up, Chris. Let her go. Preach, honey. Preach. And I was like, no, I'm with you. I'm with you guys. So cheers to that.
Sometimes you have this real knack of presenting an argument which says that we're on the same side in a way that makes it feel really counter.
Yeah, Irish people are very emotional. I was just trying to come at it from a different angle. I don't know, but I wonder if I can go in and make it sound like, edit it later, so make it sound like I'm a legend.
And why don't you keep that part in? Just, I feel like this needs to be
yeah, that was all good. That
on
was
the
all,
record.
Yeah. But the thing I was trying to get at, if you could give me a fucking second.
You have the floor.
Thank you. The problem that I was alluding to.
Oh,
Jesus. Sometimes, I was just saying it to Fanny there. What did I say earlier?
You said,
attaining.
You just gotta, what did you say? The direct quote was, I've just got to say these things out loud to know if I'm saying them right.
Yeah, I said attaining it. I meant pertaining. Yeah.
It was very sweet, though.
Yeah, but I know.
Alluring, alluding, they're just sweet.
So I think the problem, Jesus Christ, if I can get this point out, I'd be doing very well. How long are we into it now? 8 minutes. Oh, God. So the problem is, I think, all these people that they don't know, but like who they respect and love and who have influenced their lives, they're blocking up their Facebook feed. Like the other night when George Michael passed away, it was just all over Sky News. It was all over
BBC,
Facebook. It was everywhere.
Every news outlet was covering it.
Yeah.
And Carrie Fisher as well. May she rest in peace.
Yeah. May the force be with her. Christ. But the problem is there's...
And George Michael, I guess he should rest in peace too.
If I can get to this fucking problem tonight. The problem for me is that's not the news. That's not what should define 2016. There's so much other shit going on, and like bills being signed into law, and we're just being distracted by the death of this person, or like Kim Kardashian got held up in Paris, which is fucking awful, by the way. A lot of people were pretty like, yeah, fuck her, she's got the money. Do you know, that must have been a traumatizing experience. And again, no sympathy from the public, because they have this this perception of that person and how they're portrayed on television. And like people can be shitty and not really happy with their lives, so they just need something to focus on with their negativity and just attack that person. I mean, imagine being held up and fucking robbed.
And bound, yeah.
That must have been like the worst. But people were
terrifying.
People were genuinely
or genuinely, you could say
delighted, you know.
When I think of genuine, I just think of Channing Tatum and like fucking Power Tools.
You'll have to...
Magic Mike 2, the trailer. Remember, he's doing all the...
Yeah, but the word?
Genuine, the artist, my pony. I believe.
No, lost.
Yeah, you remember the song he was grinding all the power tools to?
No,
I'll show you later.
So for me, that's the problem. People are getting lost with the Alan Rickman died and then Aleppo's happening and fucking like Brock Turner's getting off with fucking murder. These are the big things that people should be talking about.
And Brock Turner didn't get off with murder; he got away with rape. But I know what you're saying is you're trying to say the sentiment is he got away with murder, but I feel like when we're talking about an actual crime, we should definitely clear up that we know that he definitely got away with rape.
Hashtag get it.
And a light sentence. Like I get that the phrase is he's getting away with murder, but you know.
Yeah, I feel like this is a Guardians of the Galaxy moment where the finger across the throat means death. And you're all like, he didn't get away with murder, he got away with rape. And I'm like, it's a well-known phrase.
Nothing gets over my head.
Yeah.
I am too fast.
I would catch it. So while it is sad, like, and it has, when somebody, like Muhammad Ali, when he passed away, I was like, oh shit, you know?
I would say that for me, Alan Rickman was a big one.
And we just watched his directorial debut. What was that film?
That was A Little Chaos.
Yeah, that was so good.
It was very good.
Yeah.
With Kate Winslet and, oh gosh, what is his name?
French actor.
Matthias Schoenaerts.
So good.
He's very good.
Far from the Madden crowd.
Oh, Jesus,
check him out
so
on that.
Good. But I think that one of the things that, and again, this maybe ties more into the internet, right? And kind of Facebook and social media and how these things can tend to dominate the field of vision.
Mm.
But also, I feel like, you know, one of the things about the internet and social media is it makes you feel more connected to people. And I think that can happen where you feel more connected or more even akin to, or, you know, like that you have a similar life, even if you don't have a similar life in the sense of fame. But, you know, they're just a person too, and they're reachable via this social media. So I think it brings celebrity a lot closer to the standard pleb. You know,
what is celebrity at the end of the day?
Yeah, I know it's all a popularity contest and
it's distraction.
Really. It is, but at the same time, I don't want you to downplay this because I think something that it's easy to do is to say people don't care about the real issues, and I would say that there are some things that feel very much like people feel powerless when it comes to in the face of, you know, the Dakota Access Pipeline, although a lot of people went out and fought and stood with people, stood with the water protectors and said, no, you are not going to do this on our watch, which is really impressive. And I love to see the fact that there are a lot of young people, young and old people, and celebrities as well went out there and said that and went, you know, Shailene Woodley got arrested, you know, I mean, because she went and protested and she was a high profile person. So her arrest also brought to light other arrests and other, you know, not that she was the only thing, but it was another thing that captured media attention to bring it, to highlight that issue and keep it in the news. You know, this is also I think this is part of the thing though. When you read about tragedies elsewhere, it's hard to feel like you have power to do anything about them. But when you read about someone like George Michael or David Bowie, and you've listened to their music and you feel this connection, or maybe you don't, you know, maybe these deaths don't affect everyone, but to the people that they do, you know, they feel this connection. And I feel like maybe that has impacted them in a positive way, whereas this tragedy elsewhere is just another thing that makes people feel like the world is fucked. You know, climate change, you know, glacial calving,
civil
you
war,
know, and civil wars, you know, female genital mutilation, ISIS, you know, all these problems that add up and add up and add up. And I feel that, and, you know, maybe this is incorrect, and perhaps this is also from my perspective as a naive white person, in the sense that I have been in a position of privilege where I didn't have to think about a lot of these problems affecting me, you know? And so I haven't had the same experiences always, mostly never. And so I don't feel like I'm as prepared for them. You know, and so then I hear about all of these horrible things happen and I read about them and they weigh on my heart. Mm. And then I feel like I can do nothing. I send money to, you know, the NAACP, and I feel like that's not even doing that much,
drop
you know?
in the ocean, yeah.
Yeah. So those are, I'm trying to donate to different organizations and use my money to do those things. But then you also, I just feel like it's an interesting thing that the internet does. It brings you close to things, but it's also oftentimes, I feel like, an unfiltered onslaught of negative information. And there are a few things that are really positive, right? Or there's cat memes.
Yes.
Or like nihilist memes or Marxist memes or, just Wokemon, and it can be overwhelming when you're also living your life and working and trying to have your own everything outside of it. It can be a really overwhelming thing. And I feel like that really came to light and came to sort of a head in 2016 where it was like, fuck, I need to get off this thing.
I remember saying to you in Thailand, like it's just one of my pet peeves, and is when there's a celebrity ad where there's just like back-to-back celebrities telling you to do something, and you're like, oh shit, I better do something because fucking Brad Pitt's telling me to do it, or Leo DiCaprio. And I watched Before the Flood, Leo DiCaprio's
the
documentary about global warming, and it was very well done. He really cares a lot. Even he, at the beginning and throughout the documentary, realized how swamped he was by just like how much shit is going on. But it's not too late, folks. We can still do it. We got to pull together and save the world. Anyway, that's that little segue done.
Oh yeah, let's.
But it
save your complex. Go.
Okay. It pains me to say that does work, and it's a shame that when a guy in a white jacket and a bunch of initials before and after his name comes up and is like, guys, we're fucked, and we got to stop treating the planet this way. We got to try and reduce our CO2, our carbon footprint and all that. And people are just saying, yeah, whatever, man, whatever. But then when fucking, Leo DiCaprio does his thing, we're like, oh shit, damn, we got to. That to me is just, I understand and I see. And
wouldn't you rather he use his platform for something good rather than just like a sort of social media branding escapade?
Yes. And in the beginning, I was like, that's such bullshit. I'm not, this sucks, but now, of course, I've jumped on board and, they are doing good. It just sucks that we have to listen to the celebrities to
why
get
does
this
it?
stuff done.
Because these are people who have a position of influence. And so whether or not they are, they just happen to, that's the role they've been given. They're at a point where people listen to them and take them seriously because of what they do and how people feel about what they do.
And this is where I tie it into Trump.
But even if you look at it...
He used a celebrity to get the job.
Oh, yeah.
Man. People just look at that guy and be like, oh, I know that guy. I've seen him on TV. He's funny. He tells it like it is, blah, blah, blah. And he used...
Does he?
Yeah, there's no filter between his head and his fucking mouth. He tells it like he sees it.
Right, I would say it's like it is, yeah.
Yeah, so that's that was the soundbite from the Trump supporters. Oh, he tells it like it is. That's all you fucking heard from the Trump supporters. Yeah, Trump played up his celebrity and got the job, and I'm tying that into that, and now I feel like a fucking legend for doing so because I just did it on the fly.
But I would say that, and a few other things, of course, tie into the Trump fiasco, and one of those things that we were addressing a little bit earlier is misogyny. That Hillary Clinton, when Ta-Nehisi Coates was on The Daily Show recently, and he was talking about how, all Donald Trump had to do was be rich and white, and he got the presidency. And Barack Obama is a black man who had to, go to a prestigious institution, an Ivy League school, be the head of the law review, do all of these things first before people would take him seriously for the role of president. And Donald Trump just, all he had to do was be rich and white. Now, I would say that a similar thing applies to Hillary Clinton. A man would never have been scrutinized nearly as much as she was for everything she wore, for how her makeup looked, for her health, for, all of her decisions were scrutinized more intensely because of the fact that she's female. We've not had a woman president. So, there are a few things that are being brought to light. Those memes that are floating around that say things about how you can't blame 2016. It's not a sentient entity. And maybe what we should do is look at the string of choices that led us here. And yes, I agree. But what is being revealed, what's coming to the surface now is that where we thought, or where there may have been a lot of people who thought that racism wasn't as prevalent or was diminishing. Clearly, it's experiencing a resurgence. You know, it seems like white supremacy, and what I mean by that, I guess, is that sort of not only the fact that not only when it's tied into race, but also, you know, capitalist patriarchy. These things are really, like, people are afraid to lose them or for that position to lose power. So that's, I feel like, a lot of why 2016 was also a really hard year, besides the 70 million celebrity deaths and, you know, all of the crises happening in terms of climate and war and just the horrible things we do to each other as human beings. You know, and also one of the things we're seeing, at least in Western powers, is this sort of return to fascism, to really, like, entrench, to dig in and hold on to misogyny and homophobia, transphobia, racism, xenophobia, of course,
which
right?
Came back with a fucking bullet this year,
right? And what I find,
Brexit and Trump.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is that callback to there's almost like some weird safety in fascism for a lot of people, but why? You know, and yeah, so you're seeing that in kind of the leaders that are being elected everywhere. Well, not everywhere, but in the, I just feel like, you've got your Farage, your Boris Johnson, your Donald Trump, your Mike Pence's, and there's some sort of small margin that says that side wins. And, that was a real wake-up call for 2016. I feel like those things happening. The fucking assholes that were out in the woods trying to hold up a
government property.
Yeah, government building, because they whatever. They don't deserve a minute more of our time. But then they got, they got let off. They walked free. If that had been anyone of color or anyone that was not a white man, they would have been fucking shot. They wouldn't have been allowed to be there for a month. Having people send them sex toys and lube by the gallon.
Nice.
Someone sent, it was the guys from Cards Against Humanity that sent him a 55-gallon drum of fucking lube. That's nice. Of water-based lubricant. Fucking brilliant, those guys.
Yeah, it was just 2016 for me will not be defined by everybody, all these celebrities dying. It was a weird year. I mean, if anything, it'll be defined by Trump becoming president-elect. And if you think shit is bad now, wait until fucking election day was it February? Is it?
No, I believe it's January.
Oh Jesus, that's when shit's gonna really kick off. I
should Google that.
I think I don't know when it is actually.
We'll just take a look.
Will we? But for me personally, it was a year of two halves for us. Well, for me.
Of what are the two halves?
So the first half was just shocking. Let's just say January to, let's say, May or June. Hold on, let me get on my fingers. January, February, March, April, May, June. Yeah, okay. When did I get the job? September? August?
August.
Yeah. So when we came back we came back from Thailand, and Tiffany got it into her head that she could get a job here because it's the West. So we came back in November 2015. And we were
the end of November, close to December.
Yeah, so we spent last Christmas with the parents. We were living in their house for about 3 months, was it?
Yeah, so December, January, and half of February.
Yeah, it was rough as balls because we were a newly married couple. We had no money. We had to borrow money to get home to Ireland. Tiffany thought that because she has a degree where she comes from, but the degree is the new nothing. A degree is nothing nowadays. I think you need a master's, at least a master's, just to get into one of those high-paying jobs. So she couldn't find a job. I went back to driving a bus. That's why I left the country in the first place, because I didn't want to do that anymore.
Yeah. But
I have no college degree or any qualifications other than those in the transport sector. So I just went back to driving for my parents because it's my parents' bus company. And I stayed in that role for like
half a year.
Half a year.
A little over half a year.
It was tough. It was real tough. We were living in a small apartment. Thank God we moved out because things weren't going very well at home.
But I would say that moving out really gave us, even though the space is small, it's cozy and
it's ours.
Yeah.
But we had to start again. We had to work tough to make rent. I wasn't making a lot of money. You just got a job in
Canteen.
Canteen here in Limerick, and
shout out to Canteen Limerick.
That was very good to us. Thank you, Paul.
It is
and
very
the
good
lads.
to us still. Yeah.
There was a lot of just fighting to get to our feet and just get started and just to find ourselves, because we were so swamped. Like we had all these creative pursuits when we were in China and Thailand that just fell to the wayside because we were just, I don't know, just trying to find us again.
Well, I think also China and Thailand afforded an interesting loophole when it came to creativity, because we were there for less than a year in each occasion. So I feel like those were moments where we got to exist outside of a culture. So we got to sort of have our own experience with some interaction in the culture, but we didn't have language. We had very little in the way of language. So
it was just me and you.
And it also allowed us a lot of time for boredom.
Yeah.
You know, China, the internet sucked.
Oh yeah, you had to get a VPN to what you couldn't. There's no YouTube or
exactly.
Google.
And so without those things, no, they're not first world problems. I think one of the things.
It's a joke. Thank you.
No. But what I'm trying to say is, I agree that is a joke. I get the joke, but what I'm trying to say is that
Yeah, go ahead.
Is that they are, the things right now I think that are sometimes inhibitors or limiters on our imaginations and our creativity, because we never allow ourselves the space for it when we're constantly distracted by media. So those things were blessings, even though sometimes in Thailand it was so hot and you just were trying to avoid being anywhere without air conditioning or an army of fans, just like
or insects.
Oh God. Yes, but those things, I feel like that was part of why we were so creative, was because we had the mental room to be. So yeah, I would say the first half of the year was a climb, was a struggle.
Yeah.
And it was a real wake-up call or rude awakening for me, I guess, because I am from America, a land that is based on a narrative of pioneering. Oh, you don't know what's out there? Take a look. Go explore, claim, and I think perhaps that's, that mindset of growth, expansion, and experimentation is a part of me in a way that I didn't expect. And I didn't expect to come against a mindset that has nothing to do with that.
Yeah, it's not, it is different, but I'm not going to say it's night and day. I mean, like the West and the East, they're very different cultures, very, very different.
You're correct, but my expectation was that it would be the same.
Yeah, and I was trying to tell you, I was like, there's like 11% unemployment here. It's not great. And you're like, I got a degree. And I was like, well, maybe we should go to Beijing. But I'm glad we didn't.
I'm glad we didn't as well.
Because the second half of the year for me, I got I got a loan off my mother to do a, shout out to Marie, thank you very much, to do a personal training course online, and I got certified in that. And
the North American Sports
National Academy of Sports Medicine.
Okay, North, yeah, gotcha.
Nice.
Sorry, I was trying to say
struggled
national.
with it as well the first time, but yeah,
North.
I failed the test the first time because it's fucking hard. Started my nutsack off for the second time, and I got pretty high.
Yeah. You got a good score, and then
90 something, wasn't it?
And then you went out and handed out your CVs.
And then I got a couple of phone calls, and now I'm in a job where it's after just opening up like a world of opportunities for me. And I've never been making so much money, not even in fucking China or Thailand, as I am now. And I have no college degree, lads. So I never thought, like when we were in Thailand, like we were looking at colleges for me to come back to do 4 years or 5 years just to get a degree so we could just try and make the money I'm making now, But again, it's not all about the money. As long as you can find a job you're fucking happy with, and believe me, I'm very happy with the job I'm in now. That's why, it's the second half of the year really leveled out for me personally.
And we had our anniversary in Paris.
Oh, that was nice.
That was a nice, magical little weekend.
Yeah, except it rained a couple of times.
Oh, the rain wasn't a big deal in my opinion. I didn't mind the rain. I had fun riding trains. I love riding the trains. And getting nice food here and there.
We went to America then?
Yeah, we did go
October,
to America. Yeah,
for your mom's wedding?
Yep, that was a trip.
In both ways, both terms.
For meeting my bio dad, who my mom married.
Again.
Yeah, again for the second time. Second time's a charm, they say. So, those things. And that was part of, I think, also tied into the first part of the year for me because, it was last year in April when my parents, the person I know is my dad, when they told me they were divorcing and they'd been married for almost 30 years, which is almost my whole adult life. So this, the family unit that I had been accustomed to before I moved to another country kind of imploded and I wasn't there to see that or to help or to, to really, I think,
process it.
To be part of it and see what was really going on and not just a he said, she said, which can sometimes happen. And not that people are, telling flagrant lies, but, that there's just perspectives.
Yeah, their narrative of the situation.
And I didn't get to form my own except from all the others. So, and feeling like I didn't have a lot of control there was difficult because, as you know, I might have a few, I have a desire for control. I have a few issues around control.
I've noticed.
Yeah, I like to really have a handle on things. Which is ridiculous, but
agreed. Can we just agree on that and fucking leave it there?
It's in posterity now. It's for all everyone to hear forever.
I'll keep the audience updated on Tiffany's letting go
process.
Yes,
but I think that so that had started then, and then as probably middle of the year, my mom told me she was getting remarried to my biological father, who I, for all intents and purposes, hadn't really met at a point where I could remember. I think I was 3 when we left. So
yeah, we were cleaning your mind off the wall there for about a week because that blew my mind. Even I was like, "You're fucking what?"
I know. And so I think there's a lot of things that were kind of compounding for me for 2016. I would, if I can list them off, I think being in another place where for the longest time when we were together, we were both foreigners. Now you were home, even though it didn't quite feel like home. You were home. You were at a place where you understood how everything worked. And I was at a place where I didn't. And so even though Irish people and Americans don't have long-standing difficulties, there's a strong Irish-American connection there, I'd say. But,
when people talk about culture shock, I think the biggest culture shock for me was moving back to Ireland. Because when I was in China and Thailand, I was seen as this symbol of the West. I was absolutely idolized, especially with Thailand.
Yeah, you had, even what was it, the reviewer or the assessor for the class that we taught to the adult teachers. She was trying to slip you her number or ask you where you were staying.
Yeah, she was like, "Hey, what hotel are you staying in?" And he goes, "Oh no, I live in a house with my fiance." And she's like, "Okay, I'll see you later. Bye." I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, I remember
cool.
Those moments were fun.
But yeah, I've never had that attention in this country. I don't know how Irish women work. Believe me, that's why I married an American. I wish I had sisters. Jesus Christ, I wish because I'd have a better idea of how women work.
I'd say you're doing all right.
Am I doing okay?
Yeah, I'd say
cheers, man. But coming back here, not because I wasn't fucking idolized, but just how Irish people are, in the sense that they're a lot more. The walls go up, and things are taken or given at least on face value, and people are just they're kind of. Just how are things? How's the weather? The weather's grand, soft day, thank God. All this stuff, and then when you try to talk to them about important things or how you're feeling, it's kind of just glossed over and, sure, you'll be grand. Here, did you see the match last week? And you're just like, yeah, okay. But, reverse culture shock for me. It was tough coming back.
Yeah.
And I was special. That's what I was trying to get at. That was the point I was trying to make. I was special in China. I was special in Thailand. And then when I came back here, I was just another Mick in the crowd, like, you know, and it was just, I didn't like giving it up because I never had it before.
Well, of course not. Like, I can understand not wanting to give it up, but at the same time, I feel like, you know, that point in our lives was also kind of like a holding pattern. So, you know, I mean, we might have enjoyed our time there, but it, you know, kind of was more like the lotus eaters, right? You just sort of stay and have, you know, sort of hedonistic pleasures of eating and drinking and, you know, spending time in the warm weather and let time pass without really achieving much.
It was a holiday. It was a big working holiday for me.
Exactly. And so I think that was part of why we needed to come back. But when we're talking about 2016 and how 2016 has been, you know, I think that, and especially because there's one image that's painted by the media and by social media of 2016 bringing our world, you know, just sort of to a crashing, stuttering, sputtering halt. You know, it's like everything is fucked. That's what I see all the time, everywhere. And it really does a number on me. I get really depressed. Because, again, I feel like there's nothing I can do, you know, watching so many people. And this is something I feel bad we didn't mention earlier, but it was something that really also characterized 2015 and 2016 for me was the amount of, you know, black people shot by cops in the United States. You know, maybe Aleppo and Donald Trump have taken center stage over that, but you know, in recent months. But dear Christ, you know, the way that white supremacy and racism play out, and basically the legacy that slavery left in the United States, the way those play out or have been playing out and are continuing to play out, that really characterized the year for me. And these are the things that make it feel really hopeless. But you know, in my own life, there have been some successes. You know, I feel like as a person, I've grown a lot more in this year because there's been a lot more trials than in previous years. You know, I've experienced a more marked up and down, I guess, emotionally, more kind of manic highs and really depressive lows. And kind of seeing that pattern, trying to figure out how to heal from past traumas and trying to, you know, I guess trying to decide whether or not the, and just those existential questions of what am I doing with my life? Is the game worth the candle? All of that, you know, so I feel like that's been. And we have this great relationship that I really am so thankful for. You know, and I know it's really schlocky to talk about it in our episodes, but you know, I always thought that if you found your person, like you found the person that you love so much and you had that all sorted, that life would magically become, you know, sort of perfect, that would solve the problems, you know, that love is the answer. And I guess it is an answer to one of the questions, but it didn't really solve all of my problems. But it gave me a great partner and a great supporter and a person to go through the kind of what is more and more apparent, the dark, scary journey of life with, you know, I get to go through that with you, you know, like, you know, just sort of walking hand in hand into oblivion.
Into the void. I was just about to say the long march, the trudge into the void together.
Oh my God, we are like Frodo and Sam, you know?
It kind of worked out for them though.
Yeah, well, hopefully some like fucking eagles will come and rescue us from like the burning fires of Mount Doom.
Frodo like sail off to the undying lands?
Well, like, maybe we'll just extend the point between like the Undying Lands, like the end of the, you know, the Mount Doom collapse and the Undying Lands, you know.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet. Oh, by the way, when you were doing your I found my Persian spiel, I was fighting so hard to repress a yawn because I was, not that you were boring the arse off me, but I was like, Jesus, I'm tired. And now she's doing it so contagious. I wasn't even yawning there. It's just giving off the impression that was.
You made the yawn sound.
I know, I'm good, yeah.
God. Yeah, I don't know. I just think so. 2016, so many things, I guess. And I would like to say fuck 2016 because on the whole, it was a pretty dark year. But I'm hoping that that means that we're all a little stronger and a little more ready for the potentially dark times ahead. And that we're all, you know, maybe going to take better care of ourselves. You know, I see those memes that say things like, you know, we need to attack systemic racism with specific policy changes. And that's, you know, people of color that say that. And then it's like white people, no, with love. It's like, but with no love. And I feel like, you know, that is somewhat true, sadly, because I think that oftentimes at the root of some of these big problems that we have with each other and these big conflicts and the way that we behave as humans has to do with trauma and a lack of love for ourselves. You know, and us acting that out on other people, acting out what we do to ourselves to others. And then we don't have a lot of sympathy for it when we see it come from someone else. You know, we judge them instead of love them. Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, fucking the education system needs a complete fucking gut out and overhaul because we're so obsessed with trying to like retain information to like pass an exam to go out into the world. Like, it's like, yeah, you can quote Shakespeare, and yeah, you know what fucking Pythagoras' theorem is. That's great and all. Sorry, theorem, T-H.
A squared plus B squared equals C squared.
Yeah, but, like, people are just glossing over the essential parts of being, like, a compassionate human. We're not really... There should be a fucking class in primary school, you know?
Right. I think that used to be the basis or the purpose of a lot of more of a religious education. Was at some heart, no, I don't think that really worked all the time, but I think a lot of times the way that people feel about God and the way they felt about God and how God has been disappearing, you know, God gives people a security and a sense of belief and a moral code, you know, which people, when they reject God and go pro-atheism because science is, you know, science has become the dominant religion.
Cold and calculating.
Well, no, just, you know, logical and rational and having no need for myth. You know, so if you look at this.
It sounds like a world that's like run by computers, you know.
Right, so.
Where's the joy and the love? And I don't think we need God for that.
No, but I think we need to work on a system, human system of behavior that replaces. You know, it's still, I mean, God is obviously still ever, like, uber present, but I think that that's kind of on its way out as well as a concept. But, you know, these personal beliefs, how can you find a way to still have a moral code when it's not taught to you by, you know, this spiritual sort of, like, what religion is, I think, supposed to be before people fuck it up, you know, which is how to be good, how to be a good person, how to love. But it's really hard when you don't love yourself. You don't know how to treat people with love when you don't love yourself. Or, you know, and we're all flawed and imperfect and we'll never do it right, even close to 100% of the time.
It's a crazy cycle because, you know, school can't teach you everything. A lot of that stuff you get from home, but where do your parents get it from? And
you know,
where do their parents get it from?
There's a great book that addresses this, which I will now plug here on the Criffany Riffs podcast, which is All About Love, New Visions by Bell Hooks, the black feminist critical theorist. And she's a feminist theorist. She talks also about education and critical pedagogy. And, you know, she talks about love and starting in the home and how we learn how to love from the home, but we learn it in a very flawed way. And so how do you go back and kind of examine those things? It's a really, really good book, and it's really worth fucking reading, everyone out there. So, you know, check out your local library. All About Love, New Visions, Bell Hooks. That's right. Check it out.
2016 for you out of 10.
Ooh, that's tough. I think on a macro scale, we're gonna go like 4 out of 10.
Whoa!
On a like the world scale, like it was like I feel like.
Okay, is that okay?
Yeah, I was on the big overarching scale. Like 2016 is a dumpster fire. I think was a pretty apt fucking description of 2016. You know, I mean, there were some good wins. You know, Ireland beat New Zealand in Chicago. Woo!
I meant it pertaining to you.
Oh, okay.
Not to everybody else's experience. Fuck them. Sorry, listener, not you. But everybody else, fuck them. You.
Okay.
You. How was it to you?
I would say that it was a solid 7.
Ooh, that's generous.
6.5 was what I was going to say, but then I felt like you might feel bad.
No, for me it was a 6, like a 6. Like the first half of the year, like Jimmy died, my grandfather passed away. There was a bunch of fucking drama with that. Still think about him, miss him loads. It's tough. Went up to the graveyard on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Stood over the earth where his body is in the ground. Strange ritual, but
and where I learned that apparently graves go down really far, and they just keep burying more and more people on top of each other.
Yeah, how many people are down there? 5 or 6?
7, I believe.
Was it 7? Jesus wept.
Yeah, and so that was a harrowing new experience for me.
So the first person went down in the
1885.
1885, and then we googled it. It takes something like 50 years for like.
If it's in a coffin or a casket, those things will slow it down a lot. But slow the decomposition down. But if it's just thrown, if a body is thrown into the ground with no coffin or casket, it takes 8 to 12 years for it to turn into a skeleton. The more you know.
Thank you. So, like, they're just piling up.
Yeah,
burn my ass up.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I was kind of terrified that that's how it's done. It feels very barbaric. Oh, we'll just dig it really far down the first time and then just slowly fill it.
Jesus Christ, when you say it like that, it's terrifying, actually.
It is. It makes you, like, I didn't realize that you'd have so much company in death.
Sorry. That was also terrifying.
I know. This is what I'm saying.
Oh, my goodness, I'm shuddering.
It was
so,
a terrifying
it's
thought.
a 6 from you. There's 6.5 or 7?
Yeah, well, I said 7 because I didn't want you to feel bad, but really I would say it's 6.5.
Yeah, 6. It's a 6 for me. 2016.
But 2017, let's focus on, self-care and creative endeavors.
Oh, that's my year, baby.
Yeah,
that's my fucking year right there, 2017.
2017, let's, fingers crossed.
Yeah, we're going to make it happen.
In the immortal words of Jacob Dylan of the Wallflowers, I got my fingers crossed on a shooting star.
Nice.
Was it a shooting star or falling? No, it was a shooting star, I believe. God, I'm going to have to look it up now.
God, we'll have to edit that. That's a joke.
Yeah, no, we don't have to edit that. It's fine. People can know that I constantly make mistakes, even though I try to avoid them like the plague.
What do you have, if we can just nutshell it, 2017, what are your goals?
Goals. Health. I would say health is my goal. In an overall sense, I would like to get more physically fit. I would like to break my horribly addictive relationship with sugar, which I've had since I was as a very small child. And I would like to, do some reading and kind of researching about my own kind of hang-ups. And I would like to create a lot more and not be so afraid to put my work into the world.
Tiffany makes these incredible collages. I've been saying, this is my hope for 2017.
Incredible.
Stop. Your mic's on. Your mic's on.
Lower the expectations.
So, yeah, all the artwork for the podcasts, like the thumbnails for the episodes, they're all like cutouts out of magazines, and she's arranging them in these incredible collages. Yeah.
Yeah, little collages. They're not incredible. They're just little things. I like that you love them.
I know I get the ring on my finger, and
yeah,
I have to big you up, but the ring is off. Hold on, check this shit out. And I punched her in the mic. So, my apologies. And no, your artwork's fantastic. So my plan for 2017, well, I got a couple of them, but the big one is to try and open up some sort of get a website started up for, stop shaking your head in a frantic manner. Start a website for Criffany Riffs and have like this merchandise section on the website where Tiffany can just put up those incredible prints. And stop shaking your head in a frantic negative manner.
We'll talk about it later.
Yeah, but it's just my plan, okay?
Why don't you talk about your plan as it relates to you? What are your goals in a nutshell?
I'd love to get back into music. I used to be crazy into it. Every time I go see somebody live, like the Russ and Ghana family, I get like inspired, incredibly so. And I'm like, fuck, why am I not doing that?
Because it makes you happy, so you should do it.
Even just jamming, like not even just playing Dolans or anything like that, or even gigs, just jamming with somebody, like, just making a bit of music, making a sound that, you're happy with, and just
a joyful noise.
And expressing yourself in a musical context, and I just don't anymore, and I used to, and I'm looking at 2 guitars right now, and a Boss GT8 effects pedal that I could do incredible things with. Incredible, just tip away with, I suppose, but yeah, I want to try and focus on that. And if there's anybody, especially rappers, because I'd love to start up like a 4-piece hip-hop band, right?
Mm-hmm.
Rapper, guitar, bass, drums. That's all you need. It's all you fucking need to get a decent sound, you know? And somebody who wants to say something, you know? So if anybody knows anybody who wants to say something in a hip-hop context, please send them my way, because I'd love to start something up like that. Like that. And those are my goals. Well, there's a couple of more, like, you know, fitness as well. Maybe just try and focus on building my quads. Or my trapezius muscles. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, specific fitness goals. Very cool. Well,
yeah,
and you know, I guess it's been almost this is the long Christmas edition of Criffany Riffs.
Yeah, we hadn't put out an episode there in a couple of days, so we're behind. We just thought we'd give you a bit of bang for your buck, even though you're paying nothing yet.
No, that's okay. This is just something we do for fun. So.
Oh, okay. So, okay. We'll talk about
you know,
fees and subscriptions.
No, you won't.
No?
Yeah.
Stop shaking your head in a negative manner.
No. But we hope that you all had a great 2016 and that, you know, Happy New Year, I guess, since we won't be talking to you again till next week.
Yeah, 2017, Jesus.
Bring it on.
Yeah, and please, lads, don't define your year by, like, one of your favorite celebrities dying. I mean, you can do that if you want, I don't mind, but, oh, and the roll of the eyes from Tiffany Glenn. Look, here, lads, do whatever the fuck you want to do, really.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. You do what you want to do. You do you. That's what I'm saying. Hashtag, you do you.
So we got hashtag edit, hashtag you do you.
Hashtag fuck 2016, hashtag 2017, -- bring it on.
Hashtag 2016 dumpster fire. Yeah. Hashtag legalize euthanasia.
No.
Enda? No, yeah, that's the next episode.
Yeah. And it also just makes me think of Charles Bukowski. One of his books of poems was called What Matters Most is How Well You Walk Through the Fire. So perhaps if you think about 2016 as a dumpster fire, maybe we just got to get really good at walking through the flames.
Or just crawling out of said dumpster, like frantically, like, oh, holy shit, I'm on fire. Let's get out of this fucking bin. Hashtag edit.
Well, thanks for just totally bringing Charles Bukowski down just a notch.
Cool.
On that note,
I'll Google that. Was he somebody who directed The Matrix?
No, that was a Wachowski, not a Bukowski. Charles Bukowski was a writer and poet, and was also, incidentally, the subject of the film Barfly with Mickey Rourke and Faye Dunaway.
Cool, showing my ignorance in spades. So
no, I just happen to really love Bukowski.
I was making a joke, by the way, with the.
Oh, cool! Yeah,
the director in The Matrix.
Oh, good. Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's what I meant.
So yeah, I'm go grab a shower because I feel filthy after that joke. And
all right, well,
if you're still listening by now, here,
yeah, take care, everyone.
Yeah, get a cup of tea or something, because I'd say it's exhausting listening to us just shit on.
Yep.
Are you exhausted? I'm tired. I was yawning there for the last half hour.
No, I'm good. Maybe we should stop this. So
okay, so. You can still donate to the show. Send us your money.
No, stop.
What?
No donating. Bye.
No, my